Hi, my name is Kevin Taylor. I promised that I was going to tell you the people behind the struggle of Nana Addo Dankwa. This is a special edition. Respect, today I'll be telling you the people, yes, the politicians, the lawyers, the institutional heads who are behind the ordeal or were behind the scandal surrounding Nam1's business and the incarceration of Nana Addo Dankwa. As you can see on my right, the first guy there is called Ade. He is the Nigerian guy who posed as the prince of the Ashanti Kingdom when they met Horizon Royal Diamond. The one on his left is his counterpart, Charles Opoku Darko, the Ghanaian, who made sure, who actually started all this fraud. He is a Ghanaian, he's based in Accra, and I'll be telling you about him. The last time, these were the two guys I was talking about. These were the two guys who actually masterminded the fraud against the Dubai company. You can also see on the far left that there's this old man. Yes, his name is Amongoh. He is the former Yoko boss. He's the immediate former Yoko boss. I'll talk to you about this man too. And as you can see, the honorable is Anan Ankomah. Everybody knows it's Anan Ankomah. He's a renowned lawyer, and he's the kind of person who thinks that he can criticize people, but nobody has the right to criticize him because he's smarter than everybody else. He is smarter than everybody else in Ghana. Today, I'm going to break it down. This issue is not going anywhere. I'm going to make sure that I will reveal each and every single person who is involved in this Nam1 issue. We are going to make sure that the truth is thrown at Ghanaians for them to make their own judgment. Now, let's start this show today with our friend Ace Anan Ankomah. Anan Ankomah is a lawyer, and as everybody knows, he's a renowned lawyer in Ghana. Everybody knows him. He's very vocal on TV, on radio. Now he's even around the country reading books to kids. Yes, he's reading books because his belly is full. Now, Ankomah actually works for Benti, H.O. Letza, and Ankomah law firm. It's a big law firm. Everybody knows about them. But somebody's going to ask, why is Ankomah in this Nam1 issue? Why is Ankomah? Ankomah is the perfect guy. Ankomah has been doing his job perfectly. He doesn't actually have anything connected to Nam1, or he doesn't actually have any crime connected to him as a lawyer. Now, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to make sure you make your own judgment after this episode. This episode is packed with evidence pointing to so many people. Very, very visible evidence that you can make your own deductions after I am done. Now, the reason why I want to start with Ankomah is simple. Now, we know the story about Nana Addo Dankwa, how Nana Addo Dankwa got caught in Dubai when he was trying to go get his 750 kilograms of gold worth $39 million. The reason why the Horizon company came to Ghana was because they had first-class evidence. They had pictures. They had statements. You know, when these guys traveled all the way to Dubai, there were CCTVs, they caught them, so many. They had evidence to prove that they knew the people who defrauded them. They knew the two fraudsters. And these guys were the guys they were coming after because they knew that these guys were based in Ghana. So Horizon Royal Diamond came to Ghana, and God being so good, the lawyer they found to help them approach Yoko about this issue is Anan Ankomah. This guy. So technically in Ghana, Anan Ankomah is the first person who came in contact with Horizon Royal Diamond about this case. When I say in contact, it's the first person who heard Royal Diamond make a complaint about this case. And the funny thing is, they sat with Ankomah and explained to him. They showed him details, how it started and where it ended. They showed him pictures of the people involved in this crime. They showed him the pictures of Charles Opoku Darko. They showed him pictures of Ade, the criminal. Ace, as a very, very renowned lawyer, knew what he was getting into. And he nodded to these people and said, you know what? I'll take the case. I'll make sure that these fraudsters, they are Ghanaians, and they are arrested. So Horizon actually put so much faith in Ace and Ankomah. And then Ace and Ankomah said that, you know what, I'm going to talk to Yoko and then we're going to make sure that the legal processes are being adhered to. Now, don't forget that Ace and Ankomah's uncle is KK Amwa, who is the former Yoko boss. So there's a telepathic play here, you know, synchronizing and the systematic coercion. So Ace Ankomah actually made it easy for Yoko and said, you know what, I have direct contact with the head of Yoko. I can make sure this works. The same time, Nana Appiah Mensah had heard on TV and on radio that he was practicing a Ponzi scheme and that he has defrauded a company in Dubai. So Nana Appiah Mensah actually contacted Horizon Royal and said that he needed Horizon Royal to write a disclaimer so that the world will know that he never defrauded them and that he has been working with them for 4 years. And Ace Ankomah had this information. He had the first class, straight up information. This evidence were with Ace Ankomah from the beginning, when Nam1 was struggling with the government of Ghana, was struggling with everybody in Ghana that he is not a money launderer. He has not defrauded anybody outside Ghana and his client Horizon Royal. Now the funny thing is, Ace Ankomah never makes a statement. So Ace Ankomah drags his feet. Yes, after he had a conversation with his uncle, KK Amwa, and other people in government who are more interested in this issue than even Nana Appiah Mensah. I will tell you about these people. Ace Ankomah drags the issue. He makes it a back and forth issue, and Horizon loses interest. Now Horizon goes back. Yes, Horizon goes back to Dubai to meet Nana Appiah Mensah because they had only one plan now. Ghanaians are playing them. They went all the way to Ghana to contact Yoko, which is the right company that directed them to Nam1 in the first place, and also directed them to Just Gold, which is being owned by Ade, who posed as the prince of the Ashanti Kingdom. But Yoko is doing nothing. So now they had no option than to take the best option, and the best option was to make sure that when Nana Appiah Mensah comes to Dubai or goes to Dubai for his 750 kilograms gold worth 39 million, they are going to arrest Nana Appiah Mensah and make sure that Nana Appiah Mensah is kept behind bars. So that is when the CEO of Horizon Royal inserted Nana Appiah Mensah's name in his police statement in Dubai. So when Nana Appiah Mensah was going to Dubai, there was already a plan. There was already a trap for Nana Appiah Mensah. But we shouldn't forget that before Nana Appiah Mensah left for Dubai, somebody came on his Twitter, Gabby Otchere Darko, made that statement that Nana Appiah Mensah has escaped and that he has jumped bail, and that Nana Appiah Mensah should be seen as a criminal and that Interpol alert should be placed on him. Don't also forget that the Statesman's newspaper is the first newspaper to publish that Nana Appiah Mensah has defrauded Horizon Royal Diamond. So you see the connection. Ace and Ankomah was directly in contact with Gabby Otchere Darko to make sure that Nana Appiah Mensah was discredited and tagged as a criminal. But someone is going to ask, why did they do that? I'm going to tell you the connections in this government and the connections where we are not getting it right. The connection is simple. This picture started floating on social media and everybody after Kwesi Nyantakyi's scandal. Now, the government tried everything possible to make sure that they disassociated Nana Appiah Mensah from the president, to make sure the president was exonerated. That is the current way now. The president was exonerated from any crime. The president was seen as cleaner than Nana Appiah Mensah. So the best thing to do was to take Nana Appiah Mensah out of the picture and then paint Nana Appiah Mensah black. Interest of Gabby Otchere Darko and the interest of Ace Ankomah and the interest of Ace Ankomah's uncle, who is the former boss who was overseeing this case, that was their motive. Ace Ankomah was on TV, he was on radio, he granted interviews, he made sure to paint Nana Appiah Mensah black for Ghanaians to think that this boy was actually practicing a Ponzi scheme, and that if he goes to Dubai and that the people in Dubai says he has defrauded them, that is not far from the evidence. That is not far from that. A money launderer, a fraudster can't also put together a Ponzi scheme. So Nana Appiah Mensah, a perfect picture, a perfect mosaic, a perfect picture was painted for Nana Appiah Mensah, and he fit perfectly in the character Ace Ankomah and his cronies wanted him to fit. So basically, Nam1 was locked up, And then statesman came out, Gabby Otchere Darko gave clues, and it happened and it worked out perfectly. Now, we shouldn't forget that Horizon Royal came to Ghana and they met as Ankomah, not to just have a normal discussion. They met as Ankomah because they wanted to retrieve their $51 million, which Ade and Charles defrauded or took from them. $10 million out of the $51 million dropped in that account at Fidelity branch at ANC Mall. Now, this is what happened. When that money dropped, the FIC of Yoko, the Financial Intelligence Center of Yoko, blocked the money because they didn't know where the money was coming from and which business transaction that money was actually going to be used for. So they called the person who was going to receive the money. And God being so good, the person who was going to receive the money was Charles Opoku Dakum, the second fraudster, the man who masterminded this 51 million fraud. Opoku Dakum comes to FIC, and you have to know that FIC is one of the most sensitive departments at Yoko. Opoku Dakum has friends all over that place because that guy has been called or he has been pointed out in several serious scandals, from cocaine to whatever. That guy named, so Yoko is his normal working place. He goes there every day. He knows everybody there. Now they call him and be like, you know what? Come to the office. He goes to the office. He meets KK Amwa, the former Yoko boss. And they're like, you know, we can't actually give you that money because the rules and the laws of the land says that you have to prove more than beyond reasonable doubt to get access to this $10 million, even though you state that you are an estate agent. Now, this is what happens. Yoko says that, you know what? You have to go to court and prove to court that you deserve this money and that you have a business or a client who is purchasing houses. That's the excuse or the reason Charles gave to Yoko is that the person who sent him the $10 million is his client or a customer, if you want us to put it that way, and that he's purchasing 4 houses from him in East Legon. And those 4 houses, each of them cost $2.5 million. So in total, they're all $10 million. So Yoko said, no problem. Now go to court. Yes, they know. They've been doing this for years. Yoko, they have been doing this for years. Go to court and go take clearance that everything you said here is the right way. Yoko now tells Charles that they have a lawyer for him. Yoko gives Charles a lawyer to go to court, to go defend, to go fight for him so that he could get his 10 million. Yoko gave Charles a lawyer. And the lawyer's name is Lawyer Augustine Obo. That guy used to be the former chief state attorney. So that guy, he knows the law. He has been at the courthouses. That is how weak our judicial system is. This guy works with the judges. He knows what to say to get that thing done. And Yoko has been working with this lawyer, and they know it's a cartel. It's a chain of command. Now, Augustine Abo takes over the case. God being so good, as I always say, he wins. And the court says that go and take the $10 million. So Charles comes and then he goes with the document and like, hey, the court says I'm the right person to take the $10 million. So he takes over the money. He takes the $10 million. But don't forget that from what we know, $600,000 of that money was shared at Yoko. There are names here, yes, and I'm going to mention those names. I want people to come out and deny, because when you have the fact, you wait for people to fall in the trap and you tell them. The same as Anan Ankomah. This guy, he had the party, the president, the vice president, the finance minister. They were all at the party. Yes, Gabby Otchere Darko, everybody. It's a normal lawyer, but why? There's a connection. This guy is so glued, he's so glued to the Jubilee House, so glued to these politicians that he's basically their surrogate. He goes on TV, goes on radio to paint Nana Addo black, even though he has the hard evidence that Nana Addo never committed any crime. Nana Addo is not practicing any Ponzi scheme in Ghana, but this guy is Ankomah. Ankomah. The almighty Ankomah is the first person who knew that Nana Addo wasn't guilty on this issue. Now, this is what happens. After the guy takes the $10 million, $600,000 is shared at Yoko. And the list is here. You see, I keep telling people, we don't just say things because we want to disrespect anybody or we want to go against them. We say things because we have hard copies and hard evidence to it. $600,000 was shared, so the issue was discontinued. Now, I would like to ask, when this issue came up, Yoko boss should have known he knew that Charles and Ade were the suspect, and they were the right suspect because because the Horizon Company came down to Ghana to report them. They had the evidence. Why didn't they report it to the IGP? Why didn't they report it to the Attorney General? Why didn't they report it to the right quarters, the Foreign Affairs Minister? Why? It is because it was a political thing. They wanted to make sure that Nana Addo is taken out of the picture to clear the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. This is the hard truth. My fellow Ghanaians, I am here to let you know where the money ended. We are following the money and we will get to the last cent. So this is what happened. Ankomah basically committed crime. He committed treason. He sold his country. Yes, he sold his country to another country, all because the enviness, the greed. These people, he should come out and defend himself that he never knew from the start. Ankomah should come out. Yoko boss, KK Amoah, former Yoko boss, they should all come out to tell us they never knew that Charles and Ade were the fraudsters, and that when Horizon came, they didn't show them hard copies and pictures of these guys defrauding them. This is how bad our country is, my fellow Ghanaians. This is how bad. And you know what hurts? What hurts is #1 was painted so black to the point that the guy could not clear himself. I don't care if #1's registration of his companies had some lapses. It is right for the law to deal with him. But for a lawyer to have hardcore evidence about fraudsters who have defrauded a foreign company over $50 million and to keep that, stuck that in your dirty ass, come sit on TV and speak like you know nothing about it, it is disgusting. And these people have to be spoken against. These are liars who walk around telling people that they have credit. They have nothing. My fellow Ghanaians, let's get real here. The Bank of Ghana wasn't able to sue #1 because they knew that #1 wasn't taking deposits. #1 wasn't taking deposits. #1, he wasn't taking deposit. #1 was doing a gold business. He was working within the confinements, the regulations of the institutions. I mean, the Bank of Ghana and the Security Exchange Commission. Why do you think Bank of Ghana couldn't sue #1? Why do you think SEC couldn't sue #1? It is because they knew the guy was working in the frame of the law. And that if there were lapses in his business, it was an academic thing to do, whereby they were supposed to call him, rectify the situation. It does not mean #1 has to be behind bars today as I speak, because the guy had some lapses in registering his company. They set a trap and they put #1 in there. This is absurd, my fellow Ghanaians. My fellow Ghanaians, the honest truth is, we have names. Every week I'll be releasing this #1 scandal. I'll make sure the truth comes out. This guy has to come out of prison and pay his client. #1 should be able to step out of cells. He should be able to step out of prison and engage his customers and pay them. #1 can't be behind cells because he registered a company that people think that the registration wasn't the perfect one. That one can be sorted. His passport can be seized. #1's passport can be seized. He can be under our house arrest. But he has the right to enjoy the first fundamental right of every human being. That is his freedom to move around and speak to his fellow Ghanaians, especially his customers, about the plans and how he plans to pay them. That is how we treat humans. These people are liars. These people you see on your TV, on your radio, on your whatever, they are liars. They cook up stories and they frame people up. I am not here to defend #1. I am here to make sure the right thing is done and justice is served. My fellow Ghanaians, this is just the beginning. I am going to bring out names, email chats, text messages, WhatsApp conversations about how these fraudsters were able to penetrate the government, were able to pay people off. Media men who were paid hard currencies to make sure that Nana Addo takes this blame. Your chats are here. Your emails are here. Your WhatsApp messages are all here. Everybody who took a penny to make sure that Nana Addo took blame for what he did not commit, we will make sure that everybody is disclosed. This country has come too far to allow such dimwits, such criminals and thugs to take over this nation. My fellow Ghanaians, my name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor, and this is With All Due Respect.